This is a continuation of Chapter 25 from the Heart of the Buddha's Teaching by Thich Nhat Hanh. The chapter is entitled The Six Paramitas, and we are on the third section. We ended the second section with, during his lifetime, the Buddha suffered too. There were plots to compete with him and even kill him. One time, when he had a wound in his leg and people tried to help him, he said it was only a small wound, and he did his best to minimize the pain. Another time, 500 of his monks went off to set up an alternative Sangha, and he took it very much in stride. Finally, the difficulties were overcome. The Buddha gave very concrete teachings on how to develop inclusiveness. Maitri, love, karuna, compassion, mudita, joy, and upeksha, equanimity. If you practice these four immeasurable minds, you will have a huge heart. Because bodhisattvas have a great compassion. They have the capacity of receiving, embracing, and transforming. Because they have had great understanding, they don't have to suffer. This is a great gift for the world and for the people we love. The fourth petal of the flower is virya paramita, the perfection of diligence, energy, or continuous practice. The Buddha said that in the depth of our store consciousness, alaya vijnana, there are all kinds of positive and negative seeds, seeds of anger, delusion, and fear, and seeds of understanding, compassion, and forgiveness. Many of these seeds have been transmitted to us by our ancestors. We should learn to recognize every one of these seeds in us in order to practice diligence. If it is a negative seed, the seed of an affliction like anger, fear, jealousy, or discrimination, we should refrain from allowing it to be watered in our daily life. Every time such a seed is watered, it will manifest on the upper level of our consciousness, and we will suffer and make the people we love suffer at the same time. The practice is to refrain from watering the negative seeds in us. We also recognize the negative seeds in people we love and try our best not to water them. If we do, they will be very unhappy, and we will be unhappy also. This is the practice of selective watering. If you want to be happy, avoid watering your own negative seeds and ask others not to water those seeds in you. Also, avoid watering the negative seeds in others. We also try to recognize the positive seeds that are in us and to live our daily life in a way that we can touch them and help them manifest on the upper level of our consciousness. Mano Vijnana. Every time they manifest and stay on the upper level of our consciousness for a while, they grow stronger. If the positive seeds in us grow stronger day and night, we will be happy and we will make the people we love happy. Recognize the positive seeds in the person you love. Water those seeds, and he will become much happier. In Plum Village, we practice flower watering, recognizing the best seeds in others and watering them. Whenever you have time, please water the seeds that need to be watered. It is a wonderful and very pleasant practice of diligence, and it brings immediate results. Imagine a circle divided in two. Below is the store consciousness, and above is a mind consciousness. All mental formations lie deep down in our store consciousness. Every seed in our store consciousness can be touched and manifest itself on the upper level, namely our mind consciousness. Continued practice means trying our best not to allow the negative seeds in our store consciousness to be touched in our daily life, not to give them a chance to manifest themselves. The seeds of anger, discrimination, despair, jealousy, and craving are all there. We do what we can to prevent them from coming up. We tell the people we live with, if you truly love me, don't water these seeds in me. It is not good for my health or yours. We have to recognize the kind of seeds not to be watered. If it happens that a negative seed, the seed of an affliction, is watered and manifests itself, we do everything in our power to embrace it with our mindfulness and help it return to where it came from. The longer such seeds stay in our mind consciousness, the stronger they become. The Buddha suggested a practice called changing the peg. When a peg of wood is not the right size, or is rotting, or is in disrepair, a carpenter will replace it by putting another peg on exactly the same spot and driving the new peg into the old one. If you have a mental formation arising that you consider to be unwholesome, one way to practice is to invite another mental formation to replace it. Many seeds in your store consciousness are wholesome and beautiful. Just breathe in and out and invite one of them to come up, and the other seed will go down. This is called changing the peg. The third practice is to touch as many positive seeds in your store consciousness as you can, so they will manifest in your mind consciousness. On a television set, if you want a certain program, you push the button to bring you that program. Invite only pleasant seeds to come up and sit in the living room of your consciousness. Never invite a guest who brings you sorrow and affliction. And tell your friends, if you love me, please water the wholesome seeds in me every day. One wonderful seed is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the Buddha in us. Use every opportunity to touch that seed and to help it manifest on the upper level of your consciousness. The fourth practice is to keep a wholesome seed as long as possible once it has manifested. If mindfulness is maintained for 15 minutes, the seed of mindfulness will be strengthened, and the next time you need the energy of mindfulness, it will be easier to bring up. It is very important to help the seed of mindfulness, forgiveness, and compassion to grow. And the way to do this is to help them be present in your mind consciousness as long as possible. This is called transformation at the base. Ashraya Pavriti. This is the true meaning of Virya Paramita, the perfection of diligence. The fifth crossing over is Dhyana Paramita, the perfection of meditation. Dhyana is pronounced Zen in Japanese, Chan in Chinese, Tien in Vietnamese, and Sun in Korean. Dhyana, or meditation, consists of two aspects. The first is stopping shamatha. We run our whole life chasing after one idea of happiness or another. Stopping is to stop our running, our forgetfulness, our being caught up in the past or in the future. We come home to the present moment where life is available. The present moment contains every moment. Here we can touch our ancestors, our children, and their children. even if they have not been born yet. Shamatha is the practice of calming our body and emotions through the practice of mindful breathing, mindful walking, and mindful sitting. Samantha is also the practice of concentrating so we can live deeply each moment of our life and touch the deepest level of our being. The second aspect of meditation is looking deeply, vipassana, to see the true nature of things. You look into the person you love and find out what kind of suffering or difficulty she has within herself and what aspirations she holds. Understanding is a great gift, but your daily life conducted in mindfulness is also a great gift. Doing everything mindful is the practice of meditation, as mindfulness always nourishes concentration and understanding. The sixth petal of the flower is Prajna Paramita, the perfection of understanding. This is the highest kind of understanding, free from all knowledge, concepts, ideas, and views. Prajna is the substance of Buddhahood in us. It is the kind of understanding that has the power to carry us to the other shore of freedom, emancipation, and peace. In Mahayana Buddhism, Prajna Paramita is described as the mother of all Buddhas. Everything that is good, beautiful, and true is born from our mother Prajna Paramita. She is in us. We only need to touch her to help her manifest herself. Right view is Prajna Paramita. There is a large literature on Prajna Paramita, and the Heart Sutra is one of the shorter discourses on that collection. The Diamond Sutra and the Atasha Sharishka Rika Prajna Paramita, the discourse in 8,000 verses, are among earliest discourses in that collection. Prajna Paramita is the wisdom of non-discrimination. If you look deeply into the person you love, you'll be able to understand her suffering, her difficulties, and also her deepest aspirations. And out of that understanding, real love will be possible. When someone is able to understand us, we feel very happy. If we can offer understanding to someone, that is true love. The one who receives our understanding will bloom like a flower, and we will be rewarded at the same time. Understanding is the fruit of the practice. Looking deeply means to be there, to be mindful, to be concentrated. Looking deeply into any object, understanding will flower. The teaching of the Buddha is to help us understand reality deeply. Let us look at a wave on the surface of the ocean. A wave is a wave. It has a beginning and an end. It might be high or low, more or less beautiful than other waves, but a wave is at the same time water. Water is the ground of being of the wave. It is important that a wave knows that she is water and not just a wave. We too live our life as an individual. We believe that we have a beginning and an end, and we are separate from other living beings. That is why Buddha advised us to look more deeply in order to touch the ground of our being, which is nirvana. Everything bears deeply in the nature of nirvana. Everything has been nirvanized. And that is the teaching of the Lotus Sutra. We look deeply, and we touch the suchness of reality. Looking deeply into a pebble, a flower, or our own joy, peace, sorrow, or fear, we touch the ultimate dimension of our being. And that dimension will reveal to us that the ground of our being has the nature of no birth and no death. We don't have to attain nirvana because we ourselves are always dwelling in nirvana. The wave does not have to look for water. It already is water. We are one with the ground of our being. Once the wave realizes that she is water, all her fear vanishes. Once we touch the ground of our being, once we touch God or nirvana, we also receive the gift of no fear. Non-fear is the basis of true happiness. The greatest gift we can offer to others is our non-fear. Living deeply every moment of our life, touching the deepest level of our being. This is the practice of Prajna Paramita. Prajna Paramita is crossing over by understanding, by insight. Perfect understanding is present in all other perfections. Perfect understanding is like a container. If the container is not baked well in the kiln, there will be cracks, and the liquid in it will flow out. Prajna Paramita is the mother of all Paramitas, the mother of all Buddhas. Prajna Paramita is like the wings of the bird that can carry it anywhere. Without right understanding, none of the other Paramitas can go very far. These are the practices of the 6 Paramitas offered by the Buddha. Each of the 6 contains the other 5. Understanding is giving. Meditation is giving. Continued practice is giving. Inclusiveness is giving. And mindfulness training is giving. If you practice giving deeply, you are also practicing understanding, meditation, and so on. In the same light, we see that giving is mindfulness training. Understanding is mindfulness training. Meditation is mindfulness training. Continued practice is mindfulness training. And inclusiveness is mindfulness training. If you practice one paramita deeply, you practice all 6. When there is understanding and insight, meditation will be true meditation. Continued practice will be true continued practice. Inclusiveness will be true inclusiveness. Mindfulness training will be true mindfulness training. And giving will be true giving. Understanding increases the quality of the other 5 practices. Look into your situation and see how rich you are inside. See that what you have in the present moment is a gift. Without waiting any longer, begin to practice right away. The moment you begin to practice, you'll feel happy right away. The Dharma is not a matter of time. Come and see for yourself. The Dharma can transform your life. When you are caught in your sorrow, your suffering, your depression, your anger, your fear, don't stay on the shore of suffering. Step over to the shore of freedom, non-fear, and non-anger. Just practice mindful breathing, mindful walking, and mindful sitting. And deep looking, and you will step into the shore of freedom and well-being. You don't have to practice 5, 10, or 20 years to be able to cross over to the other shore. You can do it right now. That's the end of chapter 25.